Here's my review of the Skunk2 lower control arms for Hondas, of course. Right here, what we've got is a setup for a 92 to 95 Civic or 94 to 01 Integra. The 96 to 2000 Civic has a slightly different design, just to compensate for the the small changes in that suspension setup. But virtually they're the same control arm as far as features go. Now, as you may know, searching for lower control arms for a Honda is an easy thing to do because there's a lot out there. The only problem is there's a lot of crappy ones. Primarily, the reason being, why they'd be considered crappy is because of the bushings that you've got. Whether it be the one that controls, connects to the subframe or the shock or anything of that sort. What happens is with some of the cheaper lower control arms, within a month's time, on a daily driver, what will happen is the bushing will wear out, and it'll actually separate. The sleeve in the center will completely, kind of come out, and it'll just shake around in the control arm. Say, imagine you've got your bolt right here, and you've got your nut here. The control arm, instead of staying in this fashion, well, there's no collar on the actual bushing on some of the cheaper ones, so it'll actually be able to slide back and forth, even though the bolt is stationary. One thing that's good about these Skunk2 ones is that they've kind of eliminated the factory-style design. As with factory control arms, the bushings rarely go out unless it's got a lot of mileage on it, because Honda put some time into that design. All of the cheaper lower control arm manufacturers use a replicated design of the Honda ones, but it just doesn't hold up. They're just really poor quality and blow out almost instantly. With the Skunk2 design, they've more or less solved that problem. You've got a big sleeve in the center, and there's no outer metal sleeve. You've basically just got two halves of the bushing. So if you were to press this out, which is actually a lot easier to do yourself than trying to press out some of the metal sleeved ones, once you press this pin out, you've got these two bushings, which are actually split right in the middle, more or less, once you take this apart. You can almost work them out with your fingers. They are a bit rigid, as you can feel, and it feels almost more like a plastic than a rubber. But it's probably some form of rubber and polyurethane mixture that they have, because it's also not something you really want spongy at all either. Another good part about these is you've got 3 adjustability points for your sway bar. It looks like it's probably going to be either a 10 or probably like a 12 millimeter thread that goes into there. But basically, right at your sway bar end link, you should be able to match that up. I always suggest running some of the spherical adjustable sway bar end links. They're usually pretty affordable. You can get them from either Function 7 or Blocks. Both companies make a set of those, and they're usually not too bad, under $50 for the pair of them, with the hardware, the conical washers, and everything of that sort. Beyond that, other design features I do like of these lower control arms is, as far as like rigidity-wise, it looks like they are pretty well built. They don't really weigh too much, considering the weight of like a factory, steel lower control arm. But it definitely does look like this is one of the top control arms that you have to choose from. There's really only a couple companies that I would suggest. Skunk2 being one of them. Power and Control, or Pick Performance as they go as, being the other. And Function 7 as, the third company. And the main reason being is these 3 companies have solved the issues as far as bad bushings go, which plagues, this type of product for all these cars. One thing I would like to say as well is the good thing about Pick Performance and Function 7 is if you are into, more or less road course racing and you have a dedicated track car, they do offer spherical bushings in replace of any of the poly or rubber ones in all their control arms. They are a bit more, probably on like the $300 to $350 range, but it's not bad when you consider what those spherical bearings actually cost to manufacture and purchase separately. So with that said, I have to say that I definitely would suggest these lower control arms, specifically flaws and I'd say competitions, bushings and things of that sort. And I also know for a fact that if you go on the Skunk2 website, they do have a upgraded bushing available. If I remember correct, it's probably around like $25 to $30 for the set of them. I'm not sure what they've changed in between, but I remember reading something about the actual, I guess the combination of either rubber or poly. They've changed the formula a little bit. So it might lead to a stiffer product, or it might just lead to one that lasts a little bit longer. But the good thing about these is it's a quick and easy way to change them out, since you only are relying on that center pin. Any questions, feel free to let me know, and I will be giving these a try very soon. Have a nice day.